Here we go. Maybe. Yes. Okay. We're on page 84, producing visible light. And you're going to hear me struggle trying to say all of these different types of light bulbs because for whatever reason my tongue is tied today and I can't get them out. All right. Last class kids are sitting here going, what? Because I was all like mispronouncing all kinds of light bulbs here. I was like, the tungsten, the hydrate, and it was just, I got tickled at myself.
Tungsten halogen.
So, yeah, so sometimes you have those days, you know. Sometimes it just, the brain and the tongue doesn't work together to produce the right words. All right. All right, look around you. And you can look around you. Take a look, okay? Now, most of the object that you see are visible. Makes sense, right? If you can see it, obviously it's visible. But they're visible because they reflect light from some kind of a light source. And here, obviously, the sun is coming through the windows. You've got artificial lighting in the ceiling that shines down, okay? But because the light is in here, it is reflecting off of everything, and that's why we can see it. If it was pitch black in here, and there was absolutely no light for your eye to be able to pick up, you wouldn't be able to see. Your eye has got to be able to pick up light in order for it to work. Okay, that's why you don't see as well at night as you do in the daytime, obviously, right? An object is illuminated if you see it by reflecting light. Okay, this page that we're reading, your desk, the moon, are example of illuminated object. Okay, because the moon doesn't actually produce light. Remember, it reflects the sun's. Okay, now an object is luminous if it gives off its own light. Okay, don't get those confused. A light bulb, a burning log, and the sun are all examples of luminous objects. Okay? So it's got to give off its own light. Okay? And of course there is different types of light bulbs.
Here we go.
In this video, here we go. Get ready to saddle up. Okay? And of course this book is a little bit older. So regulations has actually changed on the type of light bulbs. The incandescent light bulb is almost coming to a thing of the past because it was not energy efficient, and of course we're trying to become more energy efficient as a nation. So regulations has kind of cut down on those. You used to be able to buy those in different watts, but they were not really real great. I mean, they gave off great light, but they were not as energy efficient as they deemed that they should be. So the common types of light bulbs include, again, incandescent, tungsten, fluorescent, vapor, neon, and some of these lights produce a continuous spectrum of all the wavelengths of the visible lights. Others produce only a few wavelengths of the visible light. And I'm sure all of you has a spectroscope sitting around the house, and if you pick up that and look at light bulbs, you can actually view the different lights that is being produced, different visible light waves that are being produced by your different light bulbs in the house, okay? So that's pretty cool. Because I know I take out my spectroscope all the time and look at light bulbs. Don't y'all? Y'all don't do that?
Do you mean your phone?
I don't have a spectroscope at my house. I'm just kidding. I'm not sure I have ever seen one, to be honest with you. Have you ever heard the phrase red hot? When a glass blower heats glass, it glows and gives off a red light. At a higher temperature, it gives off white light, and the glass is said to be white hot. Okay? An incandescent bulb is a light bulb that glows when a filament inside it gets white hot. Okay? Thomas Edison, of course, the American inventor, patented the first practical incandescent light bulb in 1879. Okay? What color? Have you ever noticed that if you're at a bonfire or something like that, the hotter it gets, what color does it start to burn?
Blue.
Bluish, yeah, when it gets really hot, it gets blue. But it'll go from red
The
to
hottest is actually
whitish
see-through.
to blue. When it gets blue, it's really hot. Yes,
Aren't like the hottest stars blue?
they are. They are.
Didn't we learn?
Good remembering. There you go. Bringing in that previous learning. Look at you.
Yes,
Boy.
Braxton, big brain.
Hey, he's right though. I mean, tie the connection there. Okay, same creator, right?
Amen.
Didn't change the game plan. Same creator. You see it. Okay? All right. Ordinary light bulbs. If you look closely at an ordinary light bulb, like the picture up there, it's labeled ordinary light bulb. I love that. Okay? Notice the thin wire called a filament is made of metal called tungsten. When an electrical current passes through that filament, it quickly heats up and becomes hot, giving off a white light. And the filament is enclosed in an airtight glass bulb. And most ordinary light bulbs contain small amounts of nitrogen and hydrogen, not hydrogen, argon gases.
Coach Sizemore.
Yes.
When Thomas Edison, or like when he made this, the first person, I don't know if he's the one who put nitrogen gas and argon gas, but whoever did that, they're kind of bored because that could have blown up their house because it's gas.
It could have.
Isn't nitrogen like really flammable?
It can be, but the thing about this also, nitrogen makes up most of the oxygen that we breathe. Remember?
We're flammable. That's why we're flammable.
That's why we have that combustion where we just automatically blow up sometimes.
Science is so
That's actually friction.
That's why
Yes, Caleb.
Yeah, so it goes from red to white to blue, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. All right. So, but here's the deal. Ordinary light bulbs are not real efficient. All right. Less than 10% of their energy actually gives off light. That means 90% of it is being wasted. 90% of the energy that they use is being wasted. Okay? So, and most of that energy is given off as infrared rays, which of course we can't see without special glasses. But that is why they get so hot. Okay? So that's why regulations kind of came in and they changed light bulbs now. You have a hard time finding the incandescent light bulbs anymore. Okay? Now you got the tungsten halogen bulbs. Halogen, that's the one that I was struggling with earlier. A bulb that has a tungsten filament is and has that gas in it is such as iodine or bromine. That is the tungsten hydrogen bulb. Halogen or whatever, you know what I'm saying. Okay. The filament of this bulb, I even told you beforehand I was struggling today. So why do you feel that you have to correct it every time I say it? I even told you. I even told you. That's just rude. You hurt my feelings. I'm offended. I know. Has anybody got a coloring book and some crayons?
You need to demand an apology.
No, that's okay. I'm just picking. The filament of this bulb gets much hotter than an ordinary light bulb, so the bulb looks whiter. Okay? So, these bulbs are more efficient than ordinary bulbs because they give off more light and they use less electrical energy. Okay? And they also give off more heat. Because they get so hot, they must be kept away from materials that could catch on fire. You shouldn't ever turn on the light bulb and lay it down on your sheets or put a piece of paper over the top of it anyhow. So, common sense, folks, common sense. There we go.
And then there's me. We put a fedora over top of our lamp just so the light would only go down.
Well, I had one over here one year that we was doing an experiment, and it was in one of the cones that really intensified the heat, and I just laid it down over there just for a second, and it put a little place on the counter. Okay. Incandescent light bulbs are not the only light bulbs you see around you, though. Some spaces are lit by fluorescent lights, Streets and parking lights might be lit with vapor lights. Neon lights are often used to attract attention to stores and theaters. Okay, that's the ones that are all different colors, and they might actually be moving around or look like a, you know, in a picture of something. Excuse me. Have you ever noticed long, narrow glass tubes that illuminate schools and stores? These are fluorescent light bulbs. You know that. A fluorescent bulb that contains gas and is coated on the inside with a powder. And when that electric current passes through the bulb, it causes the gas inside to give off ultraviolet rays. When the ultraviolet rays hits the power in the tube, then the powder gives off visible light. And they're cheaper. They're cheaper to buy. They're cheaper to. They don't take as much electricity. They last a long time. That's why you see them in schools and businesses and all that. Okay? Yes, sir.
Are those?
They are. Yep.
Fluorescent.
Fluorescent. Yes, sir. They are. Okay. So they last longer. They use less electricity. They're the same brightness. So they are very efficient. A lot of people don't like them, especially if they're in a bathroom, because their lighting is not really, what's the word I want? They don't help you look your best always. You know, that's why a lady's makeup mirror perhaps is not lined with fluorescent lights, okay? Because it doesn't give you a true color of your face always. But they are bright and they do light up really nice. Okay, and that's kind of the idea behind light. It's help you to see. Okay? All right, vapor lights, a bulb that contains neon or argon light or gas, in a small amount of solid sodium or mercury is a vapor light. Okay? When an electrical current passes through the gas heats up. The hot gas then heats the sodium or the mercury, because it's one or two of those. It's either or. The heating causes the sodium or the mercury to change from a solid into a gas.
How did they put a planet in?
In a sodium vapor light, the particles of sodium gas glows to give off a yellowish light. Okay, so sodium's going to give off yellow. Okay, a mercury vapor light produces more of a bluish light. So now if you're ever on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and that's one of the questions, you know the answer. Okay? And when you win your $1 million, you can turn to the camera and go, I want to thank my 6th grade science teacher. Okay? And write a big check for Mr. Sizemore's return. Yes, Caleb.
Besides
$5,
the yellows and the blues, it says it can contain neon. So does that mean it could be other colors?
It could. It could, actually. Okay, so both sodium and mercury vapor lights are used for street lighting and parking lots, and they require very little electrical energy to give off a great deal of light. So they are quite efficient, because that's the ones that in parking lots, they come on at dark and stay on all night. Okay, and they do that 7 nights a week, 365 days a year. So they want something very energy efficient, something that is cheap to run. They want the safety of the parking lot as a priority, but they also don't want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to light up an empty parking lot all night either. So they were looking for something a little bit more energy efficient, a little bit more cost effective. Okay. Neon lights. A neon light is a sealed glass tube that contains neon gas. When an electrical current passes through the neon, particles in that gas absorbs the energy. However, the gas particles cannot hold that energy for very long. And this energy is then released in the form of light. And this process is called electrical discharge through gases. A true neon light gives off a red light, as shown in figure 12 up there at the top of the page. But often light contains different gases or a mixture of gases And they're also referred to as a neon light. So not every neon light necessarily has just neon gases in it. Okay? Different gases produce different colors of light. For example, argon gas and mercury vapors produce a greenish blue. Helium gives off pink. Krypton gives off a pale violet light. Sometimes colored glass tubes are used to produce color. Okay? So neon lights are usually commonly used for bright, flashy signs, open and closed signs, or most of the time they're neon lights, things like that. Yes, Catherine?
My brother in his room has lights that change colors, so how would that work?
LED lights.
Yeah, it depends on what, do you know what kind of bulb it is or anything?
No.
Okay, if it's the gases, then what they've got, it's actually got a little motor that causes the gases to circulate. Okay, and if it's LED, sometimes they have it set up where some are on, some are off, some are on, some are off, and it's just like a timer thing. Okay? All right, well, that's 16 minutes and 7 seconds that you're never going to get back, okay? Hope you enjoyed it a little bit. Talk to you later.